Okay, so here I am at this year's HangCon, and I don't know if you can tell, but there are way more people here than there were last year. So I'm just going to wander around, view some hammocks, and later on once I have it set up again, I'll go over my setup. Yeah, so as you can see, there's tons of different tarps, tons of different hammocks, different setups. This is a hammock stand, which are fairly new if I remember, but they're really cool, really useful. Well, maybe that's on it. Maybe it's a homemade version, I don't know. But it looks like a hammock stand. This is Doe Lake. And that trail you can see over there goes all the way around. I'm not sure the distance all the way around, but it's a cool looking lake. I got a little sunset time-lapse video from last year. That was really cool. This is a different type of tarp. I've never seen a tarp style like this, but it looks really cool. So it looks a nube. And in a few areas you'll see just tarps hung up. It's either like that for drying purposes, or because there's supposed to be a storm coming through in a little while and people didn't want everything blown away, because there was a bit of a storm yesterday that was really rough. Yeah, and as you can see here, there's two other hammock stands. You guys got a Cuban fiber tarp on his. This is a massive tarp right here. And then there's a couple muck hammocks there. I think there's 3 of them there. Oh, yeah, I might as well swing over here. So this is where I'm going to be hung up. Right now all I have up is my tarp. I have the War Bonnet Superfly, and I have some homemade whoopee hooks that I use for the hammock I just recently got from Yukon Outfitters, which I will be showing off later. And my brother It's going to be stringing up somewhere in this general area right here. As you can see, somebody went a little crazy with the colors on their tarp. So green, pink, I think blue or purple, and yellow. So very, very bright. It looks like the slack line is down for now, but it'll probably be up later on. And here's the display area for dream hammocks. So there's Papa Smurf there, checking them all, making sure they're all working good. And you can come out here, sit in one for a little while, try them out, see which style you like, which fabric you like. Smiley, you're on camera.
Say it again?
Smiley, you're on camera.
Hello all.
Yeah. So this is a really cool setup that is yours, right?
Yes it is. This is the HUT, which is acronym for Hammock Utility Trailer. It's a little bit geared up right now, but yeah.
Yeah, I remember last year looking at it thinking it was just awesome, and now you got a third hammock hanging up there as well.
Yeah, we have somebody with us this year, so we've got room for 3. We could actually put in at least one more if we needed to.
Yeah, it's a really cool, really cool setup. Very, very inventive.
Thank you.
There's their tent for the pooches.
It down a little.
Yeah, so here's the hammock stands made by the Mech family. And here's their display area. So they can show them off and show people the different configurations, how they're used. Yeah. Looks really cool. And this is something they did recently. It's kind of like a tent configuration for 2 hammock stands. And what they did is they just have some PVC pipe go from each side up to the, and have a little bracket up there at the top. And that enables them to create a nice little tent area using 2 hammock stands. Which, just like the trailer, I think is just a great idea. Except for this, you have to carry the stands and set them up. Looks like somebody's got an Eno down there. There's another muck hammock right straight ahead, the blue one. Which someday I'll like to try, but for now I'm happy just using regular hammocks. I've got a Dream hammock and a Yukon Outfitters hammock. So there's the Amok, which if you haven't seen one, they're really cool. There's another hammock stand. And we got just a densely packed area over here. This looks like somebody's got a homemade, well, maybe not homemade, but another tripod system over there. A couple of Cuban fiber tarps. Somebody brought a canoe. They packed up all their hammocks. Which, that's one thing I'm thinking about doing, is getting a snake skin for my hammock. Yeah, so you see we got gathered end hammocks, we got bridge hammocks, Cuban fiber all over the place, sil nylon all over the place. And in case you didn't know, one of the big differences between Cuban fiber and sil nylon will stretch, so you have to take that into account when you hang it up, whereas Cuban fiber stretches very little, if at all. It's also much lighter. And much more expensive, of course. Yeah, let's go down, look at the water. Because everybody likes looking at water and oak trees. Oak tree. It doesn't look like there's anybody out now, but there were some people in kayaks out there earlier today. So I have now set up my Yukon Outfitters hammock. It's the basic model. I forget which one it was called, but basically Black Friday, Christmas, New Year's, they had a sale going on where the basic single layer hammock was $20. I couldn't pass that up, so I got myself one, and I'm going to try it out this weekend. So as you can see, it's under there. No, that is not the advisable hang angle. Yes, I will try to adjust it, but my problem is I am hanging so far apart that I really can't reach much higher for the straps, and I don't want to almost be sitting on the floor, so that's probably about where I'm going to sleep tonight. There's my homemade top quilt. It's a tarp for my brother, but there it is. Still haven't quite finished modifying it the way I want it, but that's for another video. So yeah, there's that, and what I've done. Let's see. So here's my homemade whoopee hook suspension. I bought all the components, the M steel, the titanium hooks, and the tree strap. Bought these from Dutchware, and I made the whoopee hook suspension. Ends up saving a little money if you know how to splice up the AM steel and mess around with that. If you don't, maybe you're better off just buying it from them. But I had done a little bit before using this lashet, and it's essentially the same thing, just stronger. So it works very, very much the same way. This, I for some reason forgot to bring my lashet, and I never got around to making the pullouts. So this was a impromptu pullout for my tarp using paracord. I'm gonna have to adjust it a little bit because right now the system I'm using isn't really pulling it out as far as I'd like to. So maybe I'll have to get a stick or something out here to pull it. But so far it's been going pretty good. Got the snake skins on there, which makes it a lot easier to put the tarp up. We saw it in that earlier. And I'm gonna pluck out the poncho liner underquilt that I made last year, because I didn't have time this year to make my synthetic underquilt out of the same material as this, just different colors. Same material, just different colors as my top quilt. So hopefully next camp out I'll have that done.
They got mail on the side. It's like you guys hanging there.
May not be the feeding
Okay, so we have some sand cranes here, and if you've never heard them, they make quite a bit of ruckus in the morning. I don't know where they were, but they weren't really close to me, so it wasn't all that loud, but it was noticeable. Okay, and this is how my setup was last night for weathering the storm that came through. So I found this branch, cut it down to size a little bit, and used that as a tarp pull-out. Worked great until it fell over at one point during the night. I had to get up and come out here in the rain and stake it back down. Really happy with this little S-beaner. Held well. I'm pleased that all my knots held, considering this is really poor Walmart imitation paracord. It's just I was at Walmart and that's what they had, so I got it. This stuff held up great, no problem with that. Since my brother was borrowing some of my stakes, I made a couple using some little bits of tree branch And yeah, my brother's gone, so he put my stakes back over here. So yeah, that held up well. I need to actually do some of the zing-it for the doors and for the pullouts. That way I'll have it. I also need to work on seam sealing the pullouts a little better. I was getting a little bit of water in through there. So yeah, this was home last night. It worked. It worked pretty well. I rigged my little lantern on my camera stand so that way it was at a constant height, so I could just reach out, turn it on, and see what the hell was going on. Yeah, it looks like this one started to come out a little bit. But yeah, the suspension held well. Well, I take it back. This side started to sag at some point. I don't know if it was coming through. I don't know if the big branch I'm tied to was flexing or what. But yeah, so this end was lower than that end. So this was my foot end. So I kept sliding down. And at one point, I was awake, sitting there in my hammock, because I thought I heard something fall. And lo and behold, this whole side of the hammock just dips. So I'm sitting there thinking, oh my God, this freaking pine tree is gonna fall over on me. But it didn't. I'm still here. Yay. I really wish I'd been able to finish my synthetic underquilt. The poncho liner underquilt I made last year, it works, but I don't know, the adjustment's kind of hinky. It doesn't really want to slide along the channels like it used to, so I couldn't adjust it all that well. It didn't want to stay up around me. But yeah, this is home.